Hello, Exiles. Welcome back to our updates on Soul Self-Found Stormweavers. For those who are meeting her for the first time, this is Clara. She's a Faradin tailwoman, dedicated to freezing the world, slowing everyone's perception of time, and overall being the chillest woman she can. She had recently achieved all of ascendancy points. We started with Arcane Search and Force of Will because it's your most efficient choice. We picked up Tempest Caller for the Elemental Storm and Scouring Winds just to make sure the exposure has better magnitude. As far as the Stormweaver support for cold damage and freeze build-up, this is the best you can do. You really can't choose any kind of improved freeze build-up or cold damage. We all know what increased chance to shock and double shock does, but she's not using that setup. The skill tree is mostly defensive with some critical hit chance here and there. We're building the character to be a little tankier than usual, with lots of energy shield recharge and energy shield recharge rate. Arcane intensity, of course, with a low amount of mana. We are not using Eldritch Battery right now because we cannot support it. Mana regeneration is based mostly on your gear, and as far as Clara's gear goes, she doesn't really have that much. Well, at least not enough to support Eldritch Battery. Also, the life pool would definitely not support Eldritch Battery. Needless to say, it's survivable enough. I was enough of survival to run tier 15 maps with some caveats. But as far as the gear goes, best we found for critical hit, chance for spells, a little bit of mana, a little bit of added damage. Not amazing. This focus seems to be the best we can do for now. I think that's a tier 1 critical hit chance with cold damage, spell damage, a little bit of mana, energy shield recharge rate also falls into our build. The anointment on the amulet, I'm not sure what else I can use except barbaric strength because of the large critical damage bonus. Lucky enough to have spirit, projectile skills, increase maximum energy shield, a little bit of damage. Rings, this one adds some cold damage increase, mana and mana regeneration rate. This one has mana intelligence, mana regeneration rate. These are our main focus stats. We had to give up a lot of chaos resistance to support these rings. We're only down to 35%, down from 60 and something in our previous video. Resistances are not capped. Mana regeneration rate is 312. It's not enough to support spamming Frostbolt. But yeah, we also updated our skill setup just to try and not use Archmage and not use Shock and not go into full Lightning because that's what you'd use. I mean, if you're going Archmage, why not go full Lightning? Um, we're trying to use. We're using Sigil of Power with effect duration area so we can move around. Um, I haven't seen unbending work, but mobility is there just because. Elemental Storm, since it generates an object, I'm hoping Font of Blood, Font of Mana is going to be helpful. +1 level because you don't really have anything else. The Frostbolt has now become our main damage dealer. The Embitter is there because of the extra damage gained from the wand, and also this node right here get extra fire damage, and Embitter makes sure that everything in Frostbolt scales up with our multipliers. Going back to the skills, Verglass, because we have really thick frost walls, currently at 12% maximum life, but doubled. There's not a node here. We may get into it if we find the levels. Eye of Winter is there for applying exposure and only exposure. Frostwall is there as a defensive measure, as well as activating Burglass, as well as doing a little bit of damage when it explodes. Spell Cascade, Spell Echo, Deep Freeze. I do have the Perfect Jeweler Sword to make it a fortress, but I'm holding out on that for now. Casting critical because of our high critical hit ratio. Let's just double check. It's 58 unbuffed. Oh, it's going to be 58 at any time. We're doing Comet with concentrated elemental focus and impetus. Because of the added spirit on the body and the amulet, we can run both blasphemy and convalescence. Convalescence. Convalescence is there for our panic button. Maybe Unbreakable works. Inspiration is there because I haven't found anything else. It doesn't have any cost, but Blasphemy is doing Hypothermia with Clarity support and Cold Mastery. There is this Mysticism support that requires 15 Spirit, and we could remove Clarity for it, but it doesn't really seem to add that much damage. The 30% increased spell damage is on top of our added to our other spell damage increases. Right now, Frostbolt does 8.8k, and with Mysticism instead of Clarity, it does 9.4. That's 600 DPS increase. It's less than 10%. Doesn't really impact the gameplay that much. Instead, 30% increased mana regeneration is helping us to spam the Frostbolt a little more. I guess let's go into a map and see how she handles specs. Yeah, I started this map earlier. As I said in the last video, she seems to be doing better in close quarter maps where you can explode the Frostbolt against walls. And the Elemental Storm doesn't create fonts. But when you find packs, drop the Frost Wall, blow it up. You find your energy shield is being depleted, click the panic button of convalescence, go back to the next pack, drop the frost wall, and once in a while do something else like toss a frostbolt or an Eye of Winter. Pretty slow, but I mean, she's safe behind the frost walls. Safe to just wait for the frost walls to explode, or trying to explode in herself. You've just seen a comet coming down on that thing. I don't think it had a good day. But yeah, sometimes the frost walls lock you in. So it's still it's not a lazy build at the moment. There's a lot to improve to make this into a lazy build. As you've just seen, our life total just decreased to almost nothing. But if she has a chance to just sit and spam her frostbolt, it looks like it can go up to 14k from plus 8, right? Almost doubled. And if you can also destroy some ice crystals, it goes a bit higher. So overall, she's handling the tier 15 maps pretty well. Sometimes you can just run around, drop the frost wall, and where are those stairs? Let's find the stairs. Maybe they were there, and I didn't check. Drop the frost wall and everything goes up. We move on. But yeah, many more improvements are available in the build, like a wand with high crit chance and good spell damage increases for both overall spell damage and specific or cold damage. But that's wishful thinking. In Soul of Self Found, finding an item that has more than one or two modifiers that are relevant to your build and high values is pretty rare. But it seems she can at least do some bosses. The last two ascendancy points we had them because of the Chaos Trials. So the bosses were maybe it was a lucky run where the bosses were patient enough to let me do my whole rotation with dropping frost walls, then doing the Eye of Winter to effect exposure, and then getting lucky crits so that the comet kind of chunks their health. The Trial Master himself was also kind of chill about going up against Clara. I didn't see any massive damage spikes from him. Just a second, let me get out of there. And the tankiness of the build seemed to work there, which is, confirmation bias. Your build is tanky in very specific situations. Energy shield is being depleted. Let's start recovering. That's an elite right there. So, elite. Drop the frost wall. Try and deal some crits. Get the ice comet. The plan is really simple. Drop the ice wall, inflict exposure, try and deal crits. There. Almost half of the elite's life gone in an instant. With better gear, which I'm trying to MF my way into on a deadeye with more than 100% MF. Yeah, still making itself oh, it's not here. But once we find that unique Snakepit ring, these bolts will detonate on impact, which will be a large DPS increase and fluency update for this character, because the explosions, they as you've seen when we were detonating multiple frost orbs with cold snap, an unleashed cold snap, the frost orbs can detonate against a single target. So if you get 3 bolts to track a target to be close to the boss, you can detonate them with all of them against the boss, which means whatever you're reading on your tooltip, you're dealing 3 times that much damage. And then you would make your Frostmold be your main damage dealer. This specific wand is here because it does deal a little bit more damage than our weather wand, but without a critical hit chance improvement, you don't really get your custom critical to trigger. Shall we try? Let's take a simple map, because okay, a simple map. Shall we try and find a boss map together? Vale City, Backwash, Augury. Augury should be fast, shouldn't it? Just run around and trigger the. Let's try Augury. Let's see how Clara handles the boss. This would be the Chimera boss, right? Which is not that static, but so Pax, Frostwall, back on. We're not gonna stop for the elites in this map unless they present themselves. This is a double pack. You still have to be careful of your effective HP with the life total and the energy shield total. So it's not it's at the moment it's not a one-tap build like you see in lightning based builds like lightning spear. Well, there you go. I wasn't careful, got them in a bad situation, and then a little bit of chain stun has done the job. Let's just clear this back away so that we can move on. Okay. I think I wanted to click the stone altar. Okay. We're moving on. We're not playing around. What's going on here? Can we move? Can we continue? Yes. Unfed, the afflicted. You don't have anything I want. Let me just run away from you. I had to change up the Atlas, lose a bit of efficiency on the Atlas passive tree because we're trying to get that Snakepit ring, and yeah, we're doing a 100% MF Deadeye, but having your now and then having a rogue exile come into the map with specialty on unique jewelry may just increase our chances. Wait. I screwed up, didn't I? Sorry, Clara, you were looking for a boss. I didn't give you a boss. Let's try again. But at least the map was fast enough, and the death was pretty fast. Let's get another map. Tier 16, 15. United Ground is going to be annoying. Accuracy rating is doable. Augury with boss. There you go. Sorry. Right. Got the throat cleared up. Well, one of the annoying parts of going with a frost wall manual cast is hey, guys. I know she's Faridon and you don't agree with the Faridon, but you don't have to gang up on her that much. Okay, there are some elites there, don't care. Yes, I want to move. Thank you. What's going on here? Can we pass through? Thank you. Make way, coming through. All these polygons on the map, they're upset with Clara because she's kind of a affect her, right? But thankfully she has the tools to convince them, persuade them. To move away. Okay, okay. Okay, everybody. Okay, everybody, I'm gone. No. Just one more. Stone altar. Oh, that's an elite. And there's another elite at the back. Let's just make sure the chaff is gone. And that's an amethyst ring. Wouldn't it have been awesome if we found Snakepit right now? Okay, we're done. We cleared up the path. Let's just clear up this path as well. There's lots of small mobs. There you are, Greg Sorko, Yevex. So, stand in the Sigil of Power and wail. Moves out. Make another Sigil of Power. So when the comets do hit, yeah, we take pretty good chunks out of the boss. Let's make another seal. Reset. We're out of mana. Let's see. This is where the font of mana would have been terribly useful. So we took a hit from the boss, and before he could hit us again, energy shield started recharging. That's one of the targets of the build. And yeah, it's not the fastest build you've seen, but Clara is pretty happy with what's going on. And she'll be doubly so once we find the Snakepit. Clara says, thank you all for watching. See you next time.